Hi, I'm Daniel, I'm a sleep physician, and if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Brittany just shared with us yesterday that she completed an Ironman triathlon on virtually zero sleep. Why am I in such a celebratory mood? Well, it's because Brittany has proved that she can do really well on no sleep. She's not going to fear sleepless nights going forward, and she's going to get past her anticipatory insomnia. And you can do that too. Hi there, hope you're doing really well, and welcome to this Insomnia Insight episode, which is the first one after the holiday break. I'm really excited having you back here and to share a success story, which is always so nice to have. So let's get right into it. Brittany, one of our viewers, sent me an email 3 months ago in October where she shared the following: that she had some trouble sleeping over a couple of months, and she was saying that she was sleeping 7 hours about 50% of the time. Half of that, 50% of the time, she was sleeping much less. She had a baby, she had signed up for a triathlon. There were other things that were stressors that had precipitated this. But what I really want to focus on today was a part of the initial email where she wrote the following: my Ironman triathlon is next month, and I'm starting to have a lot of anxiety on how lack of sleep will affect my performance, or if I'll even be able to finish. Do you have any tips on how to change these thought patterns in my brain? What she describes here as anticipatory insomnia, ahead of in her case, a physical event, a very significant such. But it's the same, type of insomnia that people have, that you may have, Sunday nights before going to work, or before a big presentation, or before any other important event. Anticipatory insomnia. So in the response to that email, I talked about what I usually say when people have anticipatory insomnia, which is you cannot control your sleep ahead of the event. Trying to do anything to produce more sleep is just going to produce more anxiety. And that if you can go through with the event and then find that you could actually do pretty well even if you didn't sleep that much, that gives you that evidence that you can do well even after little sleep, which makes you not so worried about losing sleep the next time, which then reduces fear of losing sleep and leads to you sleeping really well. So with that in mind, let's move ahead to this email that we got yesterday from Brittany, which was a follow-up. And she wrote the following: hi Daniel, I emailed you a few months ago and thought I'd give you a little update. First, I want to thank you for your podcast. Everything you say was on point. Thank you so much for the support, Brittany. My first email to you, I said I was type A personality, a health nut with anxiety, which contributed to my insomnia. Last year at this time, I was sleeping 2 to 4 hours a night. Now I'm sleeping 7 to 9 hours, about 80% of the night. Big improvement. Well done. The main reason I wanted to email you was to update you on my Ironman. If you remember, I mentioned I was really anxious about not sleeping before this big event. Well, the week before, I didn't end up sleeping well. There were a lot of issues that popped up that made me extra stressed. The night before the Ironman, I was up all night. I slept less than 2 hours. The reason I didn't sleep was I was worried about not being able to complete my Ironman on no sleep. So the anxiety made it so I couldn't sleep. But despite not sleeping well all week and the night before, I still completed the Ironman and felt relatively good, as good as you can after 13 and a half hours of straight cardio. The worst night of the year for me not to sleep, and my day still went great. I thought it might be helpful for others to know that no sleep doesn't really affect your performance as much as I believed a sleepless night can make the next day as good or as bad as you let it. Thanks for everything. Well, thank you, Brittany. This is super important. I wanted to point out one thing initially here, which is Brittany says that it was really the worry about not being able to sleep before the big event made that exact thing happen. And that's, classic with anticipatory insomnia. You think the presentation you have tomorrow is so important that you cannot lose any sleep. Well, guess what? That makes you lose sleep. You feel like tomorrow you have to be like, bring your A game. It's so important you get to sleep. that pressure to sleep produces insomnia. But guess what? As in Brittany's case, she shows that you can do amazingly well on sleeping very little. When you hear me say that, you may think, well, what's the good in that? You want to sleep more. That's just the point. The more you want to sleep, the less you're going to get. If you can do like Brittany, prove to yourself that you can actually sleep very little and still do great at that presentation, do great at work, have a good day even after minimal sleep, guess what? You are going to lose the fear of losing sleep and sleep well the next time you have a big event. You may not sleep fantastic, but the more you the more you prove to yourself that you can do well on little sleep, the less of that anticipatory insomnia you are going to get. So the take-home message here is don't cancel events. Now I'm almost forgetting another big point I wanted to make here. If Brittany had decided, I haven't slept at all this week, I slept well at all this week, and I hardly slept at all before this event, I'm going to cancel my Ironman. That would have been the worst thing to do, because then she would have lived with this perpetual fear of losing sleep, feeling that was the reason, sleep loss was the reason she didn't complete that Ironman triathlon. Insomnia would have gained so much power over her. Now the opposite happened. She went through with it and proved to herself she could do well even on little sleep. So that's really, really important. Take-home messages: don't cancel any events, don't cancel your present, don't cancel anything. When you cancel something because of a fear of losing sleep, the power of insomnia grows. It becomes kind of an evidence that you can't do this because of insomnia, you can't do that because of insomnia. Just go through with it and you can prove the opposite. Hope this helped you. And again, a big thanks to Brittany. It's so important to hear from people, weeks or months later to get follow-up. So thanks so much, Brittany. And I'll be back with more tomorrow. And if you have a question, leave a comment or email me at daniel@insomniainsight.co. Until then, bye-bye.